In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, broadcasting nationwide. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486 with your question, comment, or range report. Or email Tom at GUnTalk.com. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
Boy, I am coming off of a shooting high. I got to tell you, we were out at the range for 5 days, actually 5 days this week. Long days. I mean, we're leaving the house at 5:30 in the morning, getting back late. Full days shooting TV for GUnTalk TV, but having a ball shooting all sorts of different things. I mean, 223s, 22-250s, 9s, 40s, 45s, 45 Colt, 454 Casull, 460 Smith & Wesson, all out of the same revolver. That was a fun little deal. Shooting suppressed, non-suppressed. Well, we did some comparisons between 20 gauge and 12 gauge for patterning at different distances, also for self-defense using different loads, birdshot, buckshot, slugs, just lots and lots of stuff. We were having a ball out there, getting to, well, tinker with a lot of different toys, if you will, and go through a lot of ammo. We had Mike McNett out there from Double Tap Ammo, which is always a lot of fun. He brings fun stuff. His equalizer loads, and one of the things he had was interesting. I didn't know he had this. 308. We had a 200-grain bullet in one load and a 110-grain bullet in the other load. A 110-grain bullet, I think he's getting 3,200 feet per second out of that. That is smoking. I mean, it would not be my deer load at all, but, man, just interesting that he's able to pull that off. A lot of fun stuff. We get to tinker around with a lot of good stuff. Let's see. Rick, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you. We've got a question about the 300 Whisper, AAC Blackout. We'll talk about that. We'll take your comments, your questions, your range reports. Just give me a call right now, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. And right now I want to bring in a friend of ours, Chris Ellis, is with Timney Triggers. And, of course, we were doing the Timney Trigger giveaway this week. Hello, Chris. How you doing, partner?
Hey, Tom. How are you?
I am good. What you been shooting recently? I know you've been killing something.
Well, first of all, I just want to say congratulations on 20 years. That is absolutely phenomenal. 20 years of being on the air.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, it feels like it just got started, but boy, we have had a bunch of fun, had a lot of fun people on here, and including you. You've been on here a number of times, and we always get a chance to just talk about the fun stuff. So tell me what you've been hunting. You've been out shooting something, I know.
Well, you know, it's turkey season, and I am, I guess, an avid turkey hunter. So, yes, this time of year there's lots of patterning and lots of different loads and lots of different tinkering. And my son, he got bit this year and got his first turkey, which was awesome. So that's springtime to me means turkey. So.
You know, of course, turkey hunting is an absolute infection, and there is no cure.
There is none. At least I can't find one. That's what I keep telling my wife, anyhow.
That's it. You just got to go out and do it. So actually, with the last week, this coming week is the last week of our Timney Trigger giveaway. All people have to do is go to GUnTalk.com/win, and they can enter for a chance to win a $750 gift certificate at Timney Triggers, and that would be anything they sell there. They got the triggers, they got trigger pull gauges, they got all kind of stuff there. And you know, I know that you guys are always up to something new, and I don't know what, so I'm just going to open the door and let you tell us, what have you guys been up to? What's new at Timney Triggers?
Well, you know, one of our favorite things to do is ask our customers, you know, what triggers would they like for us to build next? And there's been some great ones over the years they've picked. Just a tremendous amount of, from the Mosin Nagant, the AR-15. I mean, there's just been a ton of them, and I love it every year. It's like Christmas, you know. What do you want us to build? So this year we came out with a new customer's choice. That's what we call that series of triggers. And it's replacement triggers for Ruger American rifles, both centerfire and rimfire.
Really?
That's a new 2015 customer's choice. So We love our customers. They love what we do. We want to make sure we listen to them at all times. Timney's been around since 1946 by listening to their customers. So
wow.
Always interesting as firearms evolve and new ones come and things like the Mosin Nagant become popular. It's just neat to see what they're going to come up with. So,
and for people, I gotta throw this in for historical information. People may not appreciate the fact that after World War II, there were a lot of military surplus bolt actions that came on the market, and they all had absolutely horrible triggers. And Timney started making triggers for those and allowed us to use, Springfields and Mausers and different guns that had bad triggers, but then you put a Timney in it. Now you got an accurate rifle, a good bolt action rifle, and you put a good trigger in it. So that's kind of the history of where the company came from.
You're exactly right. You're absolutely right. And I don't know if the correct term is sporterized, but I use it. People want to.
That's correct.
They want to find an old rifle, or maybe it was granddad's rifle or whatever, and they're attached to it, and perhaps they want to deer hunt with it or target shoot with it, but they want to upgrade it, so they do the research and they stumble across Timney, and we're happy to give them some information, and we've got a lot of history of some of those old military rifles, and the only reason you replace your trigger on a rifle is to become more accurate with that firearm. So, right. And that's fun. That's what provides enjoyment, is when someone can take a project rifle and get it dialed down with the right load and trigger and barrel combination, stock combination, then I get an absolute winner. That's a lot of fun for us, right?
Actually what you're doing is putting a replacement trigger on your rifle allows you to get more out of the rifle that's actually there. It's like I'm going back to your newest trigger for the Ruger American rifles. Those rifles are incredibly accurate. I mean, we have shot those out at 600, 800, 1,000 yards for this fairly inexpensive, lightweight rifle. But to get the kind of accuracy out of it that's built into it, you need a good trigger. And so for some people, they're going to say, hey, I want to put a Timney in there. So I understand that people would want that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm excited about our giveaway is that trigger tension scale. It's neat. So I'm a hunter, you know that. I like my trigger set at 3.5 pounds. You may be more of a shooter. You like what you like. And the neat thing about that trigger tension scale is you get to put a number to that, and you get to see that. So now you can say, I really like this rifle. I like its trigger. I like it the way it feels. So you put that gauge on there, and now you can say, hey, I want all my triggers set at 2.25 or 2 3/4.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It lets you set them all the same, because you're not just guessing by feel, and that feels about right. You say, no. I mean, I always laugh because I always liked mine at 3.5, same as you. My dad liked his at 2.5. It felt too light for me, but that was right for him. But with a trigger scale, a tension scale, you can set them all to be the same.
You're exactly right. That's right. What it allows you to do is put a number to a feel. Whatever that feel is you prefer, it allows you to set that number and remember that number, and therefore you can set every firearm you want to that number and go have fun, right?
All right, here's my takeaway for this. Don't shoot a rifle with a bad trigger. You can't be as accurate with it as you need to be. And furthermore, and it's beyond being accurate, the gun won't go off when you want it to. Now, it may be a microsecond early, a microsecond late, because you're having to jab at the trigger to get it to go off. And a good trigger goes off when you want it to. It makes running shots easier. It makes moving shots easier. It makes offhand shots easier. It simply makes it easier to make good shots when you have a good trigger. Just don't shoot a bad trigger. Nobody deserves that kind of thing.
You're exactly right.
All right, Chris, listen, I appreciate it. TimneyTriggers.com, I take it.
Yes, sir. And congratulations.
All right, Timney
again,
Triggers.
Tom.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it's TIMNEY Triggers.com. I'll get it right one of these days. 866-TALK-GUN. We can take your calls, your comments, your questions. We're going to talk 300 Whisper. If you want to know about 9 versus 45, semi versus auto, what kind of gun for self-defense, give you a holler. We'll talk about it. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Hi, I'm Michael Bain. You know I hate cleaning guns, so anything that makes that job faster and easier is definitely a plus. And that's where bore tips come in. These reusable, lint-free cleaning swabs make cleaning a breeze. And the tighter-fitting bore tips do a better job on barrels than cotton mops or patches. Hey, it's a dirty job. Let Bore Tips help. To find a dealer, visit boretips.com.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Who will you trust with your guns and valuables? Liberty safes are the best built and most secure safes on the planet. They sell more gun safes than any other brand. It's about trust earned through performance. If your Liberty safe is damaged by fire or attempted break-in, they'll send a new safe right to your home. Protection from thieves and fire. Trust the #1 maker of quality gun safes. LibertySafe.com.
All right, back with you, 866 Talk Gun. Let's go straight to line one. Rick's with us out of Houston. Rick, thank you for your patience. What you got there?
No problem. I used it to sign up for the Timney Trigger.
Smart man. I like it.
Yeah, by the way, I have a 300 Weatherby neck down to 7mm. I have a Timney on it, and I can brag that I've never missed with it. But I've been careful. And also, I wanted to congratulate you when you did the Aim Point interview from the European SHOT Show. I really enjoyed that interview. I'm going to get one. Now, you've been helping me with my 300 blackout for pigs at 50 to 75 yards, subsonic suppressed. My buddy says that at that range, at that speed, low speed, a bullet will not open up. I would like a little bit of knockdown power for a pig. My question is, would it be A, safe, B, effective to reverse the bullet so the flat part, the rear part of the bullet, is front and hits, strikes the pig?
Mm-hmm. Basically hit it with the big old flat base of the bullet instead of the pointy end.
Yeah, because I read an American Rifleman Goes to War that they did that in World War I to hit the metal plates that were protecting the snipers, and it would knock stuff off the backside into the sniper's eyes. And so I was wondering, at that range, I'm not too worried about accuracy. 2 or 3 inch group is going to be plenty good. I just want to smack him a little more.
I understand. All right. First of all, let's back all the way up. The 300 Whisper or the 300 AAC Blackout, they are essentially interchangeable. Subsonic velocities, you're using a 210, 220, even a 240 grain bullet because it's a big old heavy bullet going very slowly. It probably is not going to expand at all. Your buddy is correct. It's also probably not going to make any difference whatsoever if you load it backwards, other than it might screw up the ballistics, the internal ballistics. It certainly is going to slow down more quickly. If you have to take out to 100 yards, it's going to slow down and hit even softer, if you will. Personally, I'm thinking probably if I'm going to shoot a 300 Whisper or 300 Blackout on hogs, I'm going to be trying to take headshots because I know it's just going to poke holes in them. Or if I just don't have to have it super silent, I'm going to use a lighter weight bullet that's hypersonic, that's going to get some expansion. Still use a suppressor. It's going to make it ear safe. It's just not going to be as quiet. So that's kind of where I would go with the whole thing.
See, I need to keep. I want to keep it quiet so the neighbors don't get upset.
I understand. Then I think what you need to do is think in terms of headshots, because then you can do the deal. Just shoot them in the air.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Thank you very much. Love the show. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it, Rick. Yeah, it's all just physics, isn't it? If you can't push it any faster, then you have to make accommodations. If the bullet won't expand, then it's just going to punch through. So if you shoot them in the chest cavity, it's not going to get the damage. They're liable to run off. If you want to retrieve them, then now we're switching to headshots. That's kind of the fun stuff, actually, to talk about all this. Okay, well, if I do it this way, I have to do that. If I do it this way, I have to do that. But what if I want to shoot longer range? Well, can I do that with that? No, you can't. A 300 AAC Blackout is not a long-range cartridge. You're talking about 100 yards because you're getting so much drop out of it. Heavy bullet, going slow. It's an inside 100-yard, really, cartridge proposition. Line 3, Jim is with us out of Nebraska. Hello, Jim. You're on Gun Talk.
Good morning, or good afternoon.
Hi there.
Hello. You were speaking earlier about your Optics 2020. Would that have any application as far as longer range handgun targets, something between 100 and 200, like in handgun silhouette?
Well, there's something else going on there. Certainly, these stick-on bifocals on your lenses will bring the front sight into very sharp focus. But when you're shooting out at 100 to 200 yards, now you still need to be able to see the target with some degree of clarity, right?
Yes.
So if you set yourself up where you can see at the front sight of the handgun, but everything blurs out a lot when you get out past 50 yards, you're not doing yourself any favors. There's another trick you can use for that. Go back to our photography school, if you will. Those who are photographers know about f-stops, and when you start stopping down, that is, you close down the aperture, you increase the depth of field. So a peep sight helps with that, but if you'll look, you'll sometimes see target shooters use a device that's attached to their shooting glasses that's a little bitty aperture that goes right in front of their eye. When you have that, you're looking through that, it's like stopping down a camera lens and everything goes into sharp focus. You can actually do this very same thing. Do you wear glasses, Jim?
Yes, I do.
Nearsighted?
Yes.
Okay. Here's a fun little thing to do. Take off your glasses and make a little circle like you're making the OK sign with your hand, but keep squeezing that circle smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller till it becomes a little bitty pinhole almost, and look through that, and you will find that things that you could not read and you could not see without your glasses, you can now see very sharp as you're looking through that little pinhole that you just made.
Yes, I have knob blocks and I have Merritts that I have tried. That's what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're already well ahead of me there, because I was trying to explain it for people who've never seen what we're talking about. But that's basically all you're doing is just stopping down, and those things just flat work. Now, there's no reason you couldn't try to do a combination. Say again?
Set up for targets. Like if I wanted to hunt, and take a 75-yard shot.
You know what I would do there? How much correction do you have in your nearsightedness? Is it a lot?
No, I can't tell you exactly what the number is. I think it's a 1 or a 1.5, but I'm not positive.
That's nothing. Oh, that's nothing. I was wearing like a 9 or something.
Yeah, it's not. It's not high.
Yeah. You're okay. Yeah, try probably like a 1.5 in these Optics 2020. You can get them from Amazon. You can get them at CVS, places that sell sunglasses and all. These are just stick-on bifocals. And the thing is, it's nice about them. It's like they're only $15 or $20 for 2 of them. So you got to spare, because you're only going to put it over one of your lenses anyway. Try it, see how it works for you. If you think, well, I need a little bit more, you can get another power and try that one. And boy, I like this system. It really works well. and then see, okay, which one will bring the front sight into better focus, but yet I can still see the target out there. And you know the drill. You're an experienced shooter. It's okay to let the target fuzz out a little bit. That's not a problem. So just experiment's all I can tell you. Just try it and see what happens.
Can I ask you a question about your G20?
You bet.
Now, I was reading American Rifleman, the latest edition, and in there it says Sig Sauer is going to have a 220 Hunter G10 in the Hunter that is optics ready, where you can put on a RMR or something like that. Is your G20 optics ready?
It's not set up to take that. It doesn't have a setup for a plate like that. So the GT20 is set up with adjustable iron sights. So if you're really wanting that aspect of it, you may want to wait and pick up the Hunter version from SIG, because they're going to have, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 different versions. You also you can check the SIG website. You also can check Lipsy's. I believe Lipsy's is going to have an exclusive on several different ones, so you can look there. Clearly, none of those are going to be the limited editions, say, one of 250 or whatever the numbers are going to be here, which is what the GT20 is going to have on it. So just kind of food for thought. You might pick the one you want, clearly. If you're really wanting a red dot sight, something like that, you may want to go a different direction on that, but that's got to be up to you. By the way, out in California, the Ninth Circuit has reversed itself on the Peruta case. So now the whole Ninth Circuit en banc, which is all the justices, are going to hear this concealed carry case. They had a favorable ruling. And let's see, first we had a bad ruling, then we had a good ruling, and now we got to going back and maybe have a bad ruling. I don't know. I think this thing's probably got to end up going to the Supreme Court by the time it's all done, which might not be a bad thing. The whole idea being that, can they tell you that just wanting to protect yourself is not good enough reason? Really? I mean, I want to stay alive. That's not a good enough reason? It's weird. They will let you carry a gun to protect cash, money, but they won't let you carry a gun to protect yourself or your children or your wife or your husband. The word that comes to mind is simply immoral.
Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the GUnTalk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to GUnTalk with Tom Gresham.
All right, the number here is 866-TALK-GUN. Now, this is going to be pretty close to your last reminder, okay? I do want to nag. I have to nag, because some of you are going to say, I sure am glad you nagged me, Tom. Here's the deal. You have 2 days left. Tick, 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 tick. You have 2 days left. The GT20, the GUnTalk 20-year commemorative pistol is going to be gone in 2 days. The 31st of March, midnight, they stop taking orders. You have to go to Dury'sGuns.com. You can see the video there. If you haven't seen the video, you got to at least treat yourself to that. It's a cool-looking gun. It shoots really well, and you get to see me shoot it. And I actually hit the target. Woohoo! But it's a very nice pistol. If you think you might want it, just remember that on April 1, you will wake up and it will be April Fool's Day. Don't be the fool. Okay? So you can get it. You don't even have to pay for the whole thing. You just put a deposit down on it. Go to Dury's, D-U-R-Y-S, D-U-R-Y-S, Dury'sGuns.com. Take a look at the GT20. Commemorates 20 years on the air. I just realized we're in our 21st year. Holy cow. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Eric is in Junction City, Kansas. He's online too. Hey, Eric, what you looking at here?
Hi, I was curious about the 22 PCM, and I was wondering if anybody had that into a rifle and how it would compare to a 22 Hornet.
I'm not sure if anybody's putting it in a rifle. There's an outfit called Modern Weapon Systems that announced it in a PDW, personal defense weapon, kind of a short barrel rig. The numbers that I see have the 22 TCM at about 2,100 feet per second with a 40-grain bullet. And, of course, 22 Hornet is about 2,800 feet per second. But those differences may be a little closer than you think, because I think those numbers probably are with a handgun, short barrel, on the TCM and a rifle on the Hornet. So they may not be as far apart as it looks like there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. And maybe if I could reload my own, I could actually have ammo.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you wanting it in a rifle?
I would prefer it that way.
Is there some reason you would not want a Hornet?
I haven't found only single shot.
Looking for, you say you do want it in a single shot? Or you don't?
That's all I'm finding is single shots. I was looking for a repeater, either a bolt action or semi-auto.
Okay, yeah, I would think with a little poking around, you might be able to find, and it may have to go used, but you can definitely find repeater 22 Hornets, bolt actions. So, anyway, just a thought. But yeah, that's, as far as I know right now, that's all I've heard as far as anybody making a longish gun in the 22 TCM. Now let's go down to line 3. Dan's with us, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Dan, you buying or you selling? What you doing?
Well, I have a question about some legal issues.
Mm-hmm.
In a gun show, I've run across it on one of the forums, and they were saying that it's illegal for an individual, say from Oklahoma, to go to another individual's table and at a gun show and buy a gun from him if that guy from the other table is from another state. Follow me?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so the person who owns the gun is not a resident of your state.
Right.
Okay, and the person who owns the gun is not, let me see how this works. I'm going to get this right, is not a dealer, right?
Right, just two individuals, Joe Blow.
Yeah. The way the law is that for that to take place, the person in the other state would need to transfer that gun to a federal firearms license person, gun store in where you are, and you go pick it up, and you do the FFL, the federal background check, the NICS check, and all of that. You cannot legally sell a gun to a person in another state without going through an FFL.
That was my argument from what I read on the ATF website, and other people are saying, no, it doesn't apply to us, blah, blah, that's just for dealers. And I'm just like, man, you're setting yourself up for a perp walk if they wanted to do something like that.
Well, the thing is, you always get accurate information on gun forums, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're not using the real name, so it's got to be true.
That's right. I am Super Ninja 372. Yeah, there you go. And I used to be a SEAL in what is it? I was a ninja or something SEAL. It's nuts, the stuff you see online. So I appreciate that. Oh, let's see. Tell you what, let's do this. I'm thinking we could probably take a quick break here, and then we could come back and pick up Gary out of Wyoming, and we can pick up your call. All you have to do is call us, 866-TALK-GUN, get you in here. Say again, Jim? Okay. Yes, and then, of course, we're going to have the after show. Good point. Jim said, don't forget to say the after show. Okay, I'll say the after show. We have the after show, so we'll be able to get you in on that also. 866-TALK-GUN.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups. Shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with 1 shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Batagroup. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Everyone knows that dry fire practice can make you a better shooter. Make it count with the Score Time Laser Trainer Target from LaserLight. Use your own gun with LaserLight Laser or the LaserLight Trigger Time Laser Pistol to get great practice and have fun doing it. It's like an electronic dartboard target for your gun with scoring, timer, and shot display. To see more, go to laserlight.com. That's laser, Lyte.com.
All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun. By the way, I was part of what we did this past week when we were doing all the TV work. We're doing some play target shooting. And I had my old, was it 1974 it was made, over and under, Italian over and under. And it's one that I had the stock fitted to me. And it was a reminder to me, and I just pass it along for consideration for whatever you want to do with this information. I shoot this gun so much better than any other gun I have, any other shotgun, because it fits me. I have a number of different shotguns. I have a lot of shotguns. And I have a lot of beautiful shotguns and wonderful shotguns. And I don't shoot any of them nearly as good as this one. This thing is not particularly attractive. The stock's scratched up, dropped it on a gravel road, all of that. It's been around the horn, but it fits me. Let me explain what it's like to shoot a shotgun that fits you. The stock has been bent, you've been measured, and it lines up your eye with the shotgun the way it's supposed to. When a clay target is thrown, I look at the clay target, I mount the gun, I pull the trigger. That's it. You notice I left out the part about looking down the barrel and figuring out the lead and all of that stuff? I don't do any of that. I look at the target, I mount the gun, I pull the trigger, the target explodes. Pretty much close to every time. I'm not that good a shot. Having a shotgun fitted to you, if you have a half a dozen shotguns and none of them are fitted to you, sell half of them. Spend the money, go to somebody who's a good stock fitter, have your stock bent or shaved or altered or have a new stock made for it so that when you put it up, your eye is looking right down the barrel, right down the rib. You just cannot imagine what a difference it makes. And so that's my new deal. I came back from this thinking, okay, I have known this for a long time. I am going to start cutting down on the shotguns I have because I'm at the point where I think, if you have a shotgun that doesn't fit you, why? Because you don't shoot it as well. Why do you have it if you don't shoot it as well? Simple. Just something for you to think of. If you've never done it, you got to just take my word for it. It opens up a whole different world to you. Let me go to line 4. Gary's with us out of Casper, Wyoming. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Hi, Tom. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Just wanted to ask you a question. Friend of mine is, and I also wanted to say I appreciate the information I get from you. I tell you what, I try to listen to you every Sunday. A friend of mine, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
A friend of mine is building up an AR right now, and I asked him what he's doing, and he says, I'm coming up with a new one. It's called a 2545 Sharps.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, I wanted your opinion of that. Mainly, I was thinking about 6.8. or a 6.5 Grendel or Grendel. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it seems like any of these other caliber buildups, then you're changing, the bolt head. Sometimes you have to get a magazine that's designed especially for that cartridge. And he says one of the nice things about this is you can use normal AR mags because it's basically a 223 case that's been blown out to 25 caliber.
It's basically it's a 223 necked up to a 25 caliber. You're looking at a 100-grain bullet going 2,600 roughly, 2,600. Oh wait, muzzle velocity. They're saying 3,000 foot per second, 3 per second. That's pretty sporty. Now that's out of a 24-inch barrel. If you're shooting it out of an AR with a 16-inch barrel, you're not going to get that out of it. It's a good idea. This has been around as a wildcat for a while, and the folks at Sharps Rifle Company are putting it out. It's called the 2545 Sharps. I guess after a while, I am pretty slow to adopt new calibers. Having seen a lot of them come and go, I'm just not somebody to jump on the latest, greatest thing that's out there. And so I guess the question is, what are you going to do with it? Why do you need it? What does it do that others that are out there already don't do? And when it comes to calibers, there's not much that what we have out there right now doesn't already do. Having said that, it's perfectly okay to say, hey, I just like the idea of this. It's cool. I like the design of it. It's neat. I like the sound of it. I like a 25 caliber. I want to, basically it's a 257 Roberts and an AR is what it is. So if that turns you on, then no problem. I'd say go for it. And the nice part of it is, of course, with ARs, you could just get you an upper. You could just get a barrel, go that way, and then you can always swap it out and shoot 223 on the same lower. So that'll go. Gary, listen, I appreciate the call, sir. I got to talk to Kyle. This is a great call. Line 2 out of North Carolina. Hey, Kyle, tell me the story.
All right. So, first of all, I'm in the military. Have been for about 20 years. So I'm a big proponent for gun safety, and started both of my sons off very young, and started shooting about 4 or 5 years old, and preached to them about gun safety. And last week I was listening to your show, and you got a bunch of bad stories about gun safety, so I just want to give you a good one. And my son was about 5 years old, and I'd been once again teaching about gun safety and telling him, you never point the gun at anything that you don't intend to shoot. And I was cleaning the guns on the kitchen table, and one of the barrels was pointing at our fish tank, and he moved it away from the fish tank because it was pointing at something that he didn't want to get shot at.
I love it. I mean, that is just priceless. He got the message, and he felt comfortable doing something about it. I hope you gave him an attaboy on that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And every time that I'm teaching somebody else, because I bring people over the house all the time, and they want to see the guns. So when I do, I always talk to them about gun safety, and that's one of the stories I tell everybody.
That is just fabulous. And, it's an interesting thing, don't you think, when you're in a house, there are, in fact, most of the directions where you can point a gun are places you shouldn't point a gun. They're not safe. If the gun were to go off, it's going to punch through several walls. You don't know where it's going to go. So there really are only a few places you can safely point a gun in a house. So it's an interesting thought. But look, I appreciate you passing that along, Kyle. Excellent story. Oh, man. Tell you what, Matt, I'm going to get to you in just a minute. I don't have time to get you in before this break, and it would not be fair to try to get you in and have to cut you off. So we'll talk about that Ruger P95. If you'd like to join us, by all means, give us a holler right now, 866-TALK-GUN, or just our one Tom Talk Gun will get you in there. And, if you know the drill. If we can't get you on during the show itself, we'll hold you over to the after show. If you have not participated in terms of downloading and listening to the after show, you're in for a treat. We sure have a lot of fun with that. So, in fact, we're going to be talking about gun cleaning today, cool gun cleaning products and stuff that smells good. Always fun. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
All right, back with you, 866-TALK-GUN. We can still get you in. If you can call us right now, we'll work on that. Let's see, Matt, Austin, Texas, line 3. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
Hi there. What you got? You got a Ruger P95? What's going on?
Yeah, so I get this Ruger P95, obviously used since they don't make it anymore. But takes the range. I shot 100 rounds through it, and it's like every third magazine, it would fail to feed. From the bottom of the magazine, the slide would go into battery. So I've emailed Ruger about it, and of course I just did it yesterday. I've not gotten a response, but I'm just curious if you've heard of this problem with this gun. Somebody told me it was a common problem with it, and if you've got any insight on it.
Well, there's just not enough information yet. First of all, do you number your magazines so you know which magazine is doing this?
Well, I didn't yesterday. However, when I got home, I did number them so that next time, if it happens, I'll know.
All right, good thinking, because you're thinking the same thing I am. Okay, it could be a magazine problem, and the only way to know that is to separate the mags and say, okay, magazine number 1, it worked fine with that. Number 2, it worked fine with that. Number 3, I'm having the problem. So okay, now we're going to its magazine. If it happens with all the magazines, now we got a different issue. I'm going to go through the obvious stuff with you, Matt. You disassemble the gun and you've cleaned it and lubed it well, I take it.
Yes.
Okay, we've done that. You shoot other guns and you don't have a failure to feed problem with that, so we're going to eliminate the shooter error. Is that fair?
I would hope so.
Well, you never know. You get some folks who kind of limp wrist things and they can actually induce a malfunction doing that way. And the other one, I guess the other variable that comes to mind is ammunition. What kind of ammo are we using here?
Well, what I was using was, Remington White Box, 115 grain, all ammunition. Now, I will say that I did shoot some Hornady Critical Defense and never had a problem shooting 25 rounds with it.
Okay, there's a clue. I would say try another type of ammo. Just get something else and see what's going on there. The truth of it is, with autoloaders, there's so much going on. It could be the shape of the nose of the bullet of a particular white box you're using. It could be a magazine bullet combination. And I'm talking about bullet, not cartridge here, okay? The actual bullet. It could be various things, but the critical defense from Hornady is loading okay. So that's pretty interesting. Now, 25 rounds is not a big sample to work from. If you shoot 200 rounds and don't have a problem, then we're pretty sure that it's working. But who wants to shoot that much critical defense? That stuff's expensive. So there you go. But I would say, I think you're on the right path. You're working through the variables. So ammo is a variable. Which magazine it is a variable. Obviously, you have to have the gun clean. Try, the only thing I would say is from a shooter standpoint, grip the heck out of that gun and really lean into it. I don't think that's the problem here, but sometimes the shooters can cause a malfunction. Hey, David in Waco, Texas, don't go anywhere. I'm going to pull you in on the after show here because I want to talk about spitting your shotgun. We're also going to talk about cleaning your guns. In the meantime, remember, tick, 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 tick. You got 2 days. DuriesGuns.com if you want to get a GT20. After that, they're gone. Simple as that. All right. I'm going to get me a couple of them at least. So there you go. In the meantime, take somebody out shooting. Talk up shooting. Make it safe. Make it fun. Have a great time. We'll see you next week.